Sorry about yesterday. We kind of had a bit of a Wi-Fi glitch over here, and I couldn't connect no matter how much I tried. And let's get started today. Sounds good?
Good evening, sir.
Yes, Mukesh.
Yes. Okay. I hope this is not intimidating to anyone, right? Right.
No, no.
No,
Okay. Great. I guess I'll have to keep it for another 10 more days, and then probably that should be good.
what any stitches?
Not exactly. They have tried to suture it. So I think it should be fine. Right. Thanks for the concern, man. Anyways, let's continue, guys.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Akash, Pratap, Manish, Pratibha, what's up with you guys?
Yes, sir. Please continue.
Yes, I'm requesting for the camera, guys. Thank you, Akash. Pratap, Manish, Pratibha. Okay. Anyway, so this is the next session, guys. This is part two. So the second session with regards to our business communication studies. So let's understand. Today we're going to be learning about verbal communication. Stick to that. What we're going to be understanding is in our agenda we have how to create great impression. We'll be looking at how to handle telephone etiquettes well, how to handle video call etiquettes well, how to handle a face-to-face meetup with someone well, and then finally key takeaways and reviews. This is what we have lined up for the entire session. Sounds good?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
Mukesh.
let's get started. So we'll focus on the speaking I told you, since verbal communication is all about speaking and all that. So I asked you this question the other day before we wind it up with our session. Think of 5 different scenarios in your workplace where you may have to speak. So can you come up with some ideas? I think I asked you the other day. Can you please repeat this one more time?
Presentation
Meeting.
skills.
Presentations one. What else, guys?
In the meeting,
Meeting, yes.
while speaking to others,
When speaking to your colleagues, yes. Guys, what
giving
else?
training,
That's a smart one. While giving training, yes. Where else? What about when you're speaking to your customers or your clients? Still using verbal communication, right?
Right. Interacting with others also.
Yes. So that's 5, guys. Good job on that. Anyways, let's move forward now. So can you guys tell me, if at all you're going to meet someone, if at all you're having a meeting, if at all you're having any kind of a training, or if you're going to meet someone in your professional life, or client or anyone, how do you create your first great first impression, guys? How do you do it?
Greet the person with a smile.
That's one. Yes. What else, guys?
Speaking in confident.
Speaking with confidence. Yes. What else?
Behaviors. Good behavior.
Okay, behavior and all that. Great. So all these comes under as a part of creating a great first impression. Obviously, making someone you meet feel a bit comfortable about it, right? Now, above all this, guys, this is once you meet them. So when you go to meet them, the first greatest impression comes by showing up on time, right? Think about it. It's very subconscious. If you don't show up to a session or if you don't show up to a particular meeting on time, it kind of creates a very bad impression in front of a person, right? Even though it's not usually spoken about because by default we are expected to be on time. So when we don't come on time, it kind of creates a major setback. Make sense? So always keep this in your mind, guys. And also, one of the things you got to remember is on time is also late. Being early is actually on time, right? So whenever you're going and meeting someone, please try to be there like 5-10 minutes early. That's called being on time. That way your meeting starts, whenever it was scheduled, and that way you prove that you came in on time, right? Imagine your meeting is at 9 o'clock and you go to a place at 9 o'clock. Obviously, you'll sit, you'll chat, and you'll start the meeting eventually at 9:05 or 9:10, which means you were late, right? So try to reach at least 5 to 10 minutes early. That way you create a good impression and you know that you're going to reach on time, right?
Yes, sir.
Great. Now let me just call in the others again, guys. Last call. Please turn on your camera quickly. Thank you, Pratap. Manish, Akash, Pratibha, Chaitanya, what's up with you guys? Manish, Chaitanya. Thank you, Manish. Thank you, Chaitanya. Perfect. See, that's a full house. Great. So here's something that happened with me back in the year 2018. All right. So I was working for this company in Dubai known as Do Telecommunication. So I had this one random, I think it was a Friday or something, on a random Friday in the afternoon. I have this one customer who comes to me for a particular telecommunication service. It's just like a Geo or a BSNL office, all right? So I was sitting there, this customer comes in, gives in his ID card, just like an Aadhaar card, he gives me his Emirates ID and he tells me, hey man, listen, can you please register my number and can you give me this one new service you people have activated? I'm like, okay, fair enough. I start doing it and I ask him for a supporting document and he doesn't have it at that particular time. This guy was a German guy, so he kind of goes like, "Hey, I'm so sorry, man, I don't have it right now." But he sees the other documents which he has, and he tells, "Hey, one of the document I have is at home. Can I go fetch it within an hour?" I'm like, "Cool." It was around 2:30, so he told me 1 hour, but he's like, "Listen, can we reschedule it to 4:30? I'll come back at 4:30." I'm like, "Cool, sir, no problem." He takes my number. At 3:15 or 3:30, he calls me back. He says, "Hey, listen, Mukesh, I have a new client who has come up to my office. I have to deal with the meeting. Can I come in a little late, around 5 o'clock?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, no problem." This guy drops the call. Around 4:15, he calls me back again. He's like, "Hey, Mukesh, my meeting got over a bit early. I left already to your office. Can I come at 4:30 itself?" Now I am thinking, dude, I didn't tell it to him, obviously. I'm like, "Listen, man, hey, you come whenever you want. Who cares, man? Like, even if you come late, I'll still be here waiting. So it's fine." So he comes back at 4:30. He does the service. Before he leaves, out of curiosity, I asked him, "So, what's with the you calling every now and then and informing me you'll be like 10 minutes late or half an hour late or you'll come early?" And this is what he told me. And listen, everyone, this is a very important lesson I learned that day, about 4 years back. He told me that when you spend somebody else's money, you can always pay back that money with interest, which means you're going to give profit to that person. When you waste somebody's food, which is again wrong, you can always give back food to that person, and obviously you're still making justice. He says that he says that time is the only entity in this world which, when you waste of somebody else, you can never pay it back to them. For example, you told somebody you'll meet them at 12 o'clock and you go meet them at 1 o'clock and you didn't even inform them and they wasted 1 hour of their time waiting for you. That's an hour you can never pay back to a person. This is something for us to always learn about people, guys. You waste somebody's time, you can never ever pay it back to people again. Understand this no matter what, right? So equally important, whenever you go show up for your work, whenever you go show up for your what do you say? Whenever you go show up for your interviews and all that, you come up late, it's gonna be used against you. Remember this forever, right? And this isn't just with regards to your personal life, professional life. You're not just discussing with regards to your interviews and all that. We're just discussing with regards to your personal life as well. Make sure you guys are showing up on time, which means you're showing up early. Right? Make sense? That is something for us to learn, guys. Right? So we have something with regards to telephone etiquettes that we're learning. Imagine tomorrow you're going to be having a client call with, you're going to be having a client call. So how do we deal with it? In this presentation, we have a little basic things written. I'll also be transferring you to, I'll also be switching to another PPT, guys, where I'll be giving you a little details about telephone etiquette. So stay tuned. So first thing is you gotta be available. You gotta be available if you know they're gonna make a phone call. For example, let's just say Philip tells you, "Hey guys, you will be having your professional call tomorrow at 11 o'clock." And you say, "Sure, Philip, no problem." That means the phone call has been planned, right? The phone call has been planned, correct? Just one second.
Correct.
All right, guys, let's continue. So if at all a call has been planned in prior, you cannot skip it. So somebody has informed you, you'll be having a call tomorrow at 11. So you gotta be there available at 11 o'clock. You can't skip it, right? So make sure you're available no matter what. Next thing is always make small talks. When I say small talks, what I'm trying to say is build a rapport with the person you're trying to talk. It's very, very important, guys. You don't build a rapport, you don't add value into whoever you're talking to. Right? Next, signal you're actively listening. Look, you got to understand one thing. Whenever you're talking to a person on the phone, they cannot see you. They cannot, judge your expression. All they can do is understand you from your tone. So make sure you're using the right tone and you're signaling them that you're listening. You can go like yes, okay. You can always signal them with something, right? Next thing is show interest and ask question. And finally, you can end, you can end the call. Make sense?
Yes.
It's quite easy peasy stuff. I'm sure you guys are able to comprehend. All right, let's switch to the next PPT. I told you about telephone etiquettes. Let's look at receiving a phone call, guys. So whenever you're receiving a phone call, for example, this could be in your professional life. You have an intercom in the office. You have your professional telephone with you. You're receiving a phone call from someone. Who would be possibly calling you, guys? Who are the people who will be calling you? Guys.
Boss.
Customers.
Boss. Yes, boss. Customers. Who else?
Colleagues.
HR for
Colleagues.
interviews.
Who else?
HR for interviews.
Yes, for interviews, HRs might be calling you. That's not in the office exactly, but when you're in a personal time as well. Great. Okay, let's just say you are in the office. You're working in the office and you're getting calls from your boss and the vendors and all that. What are the reasons these will call you? Clients could be calling you. Why all do you think they'll call you?
To get some information.
Regarding work information.
Get information. Okay, what else? Why does a customer call you?
Whatever doubt related to product.
Information related to the product. What else, guys? What else?
Project updates.
Updates.
To any
yes.
queries.
Queries. Yes. What else? What about complaints?
To solve grievances, complaints. Right.
Grievances, complaints. Perfect. So you'll be getting calls for multiple reasons, guys. Start from the second point. Always, all calls must be handled, picked up within 2 or 3 rings, guys. It's very, very professional. Make sure you pick up the phone call in a timely manner. Don't make a person wait for a long time in the phone call. All right. And always have a pen and paper ready to make important notes. So make sure whenever a customer is calling you for information, a particular requirement needs to be shared with you. Always have a pen and paper ready because you never know. Don't trust your brain too much. You might end up forgetting a lot of things. All right. So that's one. Next, business call should be answered with a gentle greeting, guys. Make sure you guys, have a greeting always written down. Hey, good morning. This is Mukesh Kullan here, or good morning. My name is Mukesh Kullan from Able Jobs. How may I help you? Right? It's a very decent way of picking up the phone call. Any agency for that matter. You could be a finance executive. You could be an analyst. You'll be getting a phone call. Hey, hello. This is Mukesh Kullan here from Able Jobs. How may I help you? It's a very good way of starting up a conversation, right? Next, if it's a regular customer, it's advisable to ask them for how they are doing. Small talks, right? Building a rapport. So always ask them how they are doing in case of a regular customer. How's the business? How's things otherwise? Is there anything else you have, you want to share? Is there anything you wanted to add up? Anything you wanted to add value? Anything it could be. You can ask them like little questions. And always thank the person for calling in. Look, if someone's calling you, that means they value your company, right? That's why they decided to call you. So always thank them for the same. Make sense?
Yes.
Great. Next thing is making a phone call. Now, this could be with regards to you working somewhere or you calling an HR to ask about a job or a job update, anything like that. So whenever you're calling a company, that could be business related or to ask for job updates, you got to be professional and you got to give your name and your information to whoever picks up the phone call. All right. Do not play dumb charades with them. Hey, guess who this is? Or do not play these, guess who this is or guess the voice and all that. You got to be like, hey, good morning. Is this Able Jobs? And they go like, yes. My name is Mukesh Kullan and I'm calling you to ask about a recent job opening that was made in your company. Or I'm calling you to ask about, this business query, whatever it is. Give this, this is a great way of starting your phone call, right? And try to use this as much as possible, guys. Try to use this as much as possible. If you get a wrong number, it's okay. All right. Don't straight away hang up the call and make yourself look like a fool. All right. So if at all you get a wrong number, you can always be like, hey, I'm so sorry, I think I've got a wrong number. You have a great day. Halas, that's it. Right? Guys, basic telephone etiquettes. This is what you need to remember. Guys. Basic telephone etiquettes. Right? Next thing is
I,
always ask if it is a good time to talk. It's very, very important. This is something to always keep in our mind. All right. Remember this thing. Whenever you're calling someone, you don't know if that person is in a meeting, that person could be in middle of something very important, right? Always ask them first question. Hello, sir, this is Able Jobs. My name is Mukesh Kuran. I'm calling you to ask about this. I just want to know, is this the right time to talk to you? The person says yes, continue. The person says no, reschedule the call. So can I call you some other time? The person goes like, yes, call me after an hour. Perfect. Yes?
yes,
Makes sense?
makes sense.
Next. Thank them for allowing a few moments in a busy schedule. Look, it's very important. Whenever you call someone, if that person's giving you time, if that person's giving you attention, make sure you respect that. Right? You got to respect that, right? Always thank them, like, thank you so much for your time. So it was really valuable and I really appreciate this. Now, if you do not get to speak to a person, specific person, whoever you wanted to talk to, always leave a message behind with the name, contact details, and the reason why you called. Imagine you called Able Jobs and you wanted to talk to Philip, and I picked up the phone call and I tell you Philip is busy. You can always tell them, hey, it's okay. Can you please tell me, can you please tell Mr. Philip that Prakash had called? This is my contact detail, and I called with regards to this. I called, to check about the placement, information. So now I know why you called, who called, and what's your number, and I'm going to go tell Philip, and he's going to give you a call back, right? That makes more sense. That's how you handle this, right? Great. That's about receiving the phone or making a phone call, guys. Now, the last part of telephone etiquettes is do and don'ts about whenever you're on a telephone call, guys. The first thing is you got to make sure you're alert and attentive to whoever is answering your phone call. You got to make sure you're giving the attention to that person. Next thing, you don't chew or eat anything while speaking, guys. I mean, nothing is as crazy as chewing or eating while talking on the phone. It just sounds very, very crazy, guys. Make sure you remember this. If you wish to put someone on hold, please seek their permission. You don't want to put somebody on hold without even informing them. Imagine how would you feel as a customer if just someone puts you on hold without even informing you. It's quite rude, right? You don't want to do that. Next, always return calls or messages without much delay, which means if you have a missed call, if you have a follow-up call to do, don't delay much. Don't try to keep these calls on hold. Whenever you have an opportunity, call these numbers back and get an update. That is something for us to understand. Next, never use the speakerphone until and unless there is a specific requirement, which means if you're speaking with somebody, you put somebody on a speakerphone, it kind of is a rude etiquette, guys. It kind of makes the person feel a bit rude about you. So don't do this. Don't do this. All right. Next, speak clearly and slowly because you're speaking with people from different part of the country. You're speaking with people with different accents, different culture. You cannot speak in the same tone. Not everyone might be able to understand, right? So speak slowly, speak clearly, make everyone understand whatever you're trying to tell them. Okay? Next thing, don't be rude to a caller, no matter how nasty or how rude they are with you. This goes to say that if you're going to be rude with a person, it can backfire with you. Let me tell you this incident that happened with a French friend of mine. He was working for an insurance company, all right? And he had this random call one day from a customer who was abusing him on the phone. So imagine you're working, you pick up a phone call and some random guy starts abusing you on the phone. This guy was like, sir, please don't use such foul language, or I'll have to disrupt the call, I'll have to cut the call. It's against the policy. And the customer didn't understand. He was continuously abusing him, blah, blah. Both of them are. After 20 minutes of listening to constant abuse, this friend's friend, he lost his cool and he abused back to the customer on a live call, on a recorded call. Now that other person, double standard. He was like, how dare you abuse me? How dare you do this to me? You have no idea who you're speaking to. Give me 5 minutes, I will remove you from your job. And it drops the call. Guess what happened in 5 minutes?
Got fired or suspended?
Nothing happened in 5 minutes, Akash. Indians, end of the day. Dialogues, so we have to give, right? But you're very close, Akash. In 30 minutes, he lost his job. Turns out the customer who called him was the vice president's good friend or something, and he had an internal connect in the company. And this guy lost his job in no time. See, I'm not saying something like this will happen with everyone, but we never know. Why take a chance? And also, we're all educated, right? Just because of somebody is barking at you, you don't bark back at them, right? You are educated, you have the etiquettes, you know how to deal with customers. So make sure you're never rude to a caller, never ever, no matter how nasty they are with you. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's switch to video call etiquettes. Guys, now we're learning about video call etiquettes, and I hope I should be having everyone's video call turned on. Join the call 5 minutes in prior and keep your cameras on no matter what. That's the whole point of doing video call, right? I get it, guys. I get it. You will be like, hey, listen, man, Mukesh, we have very less data. We have, Netflix series to watch after class. I get it. I get it. But you signed up for this program. You signed up to learn something over here, and it's your moral duty to be responsible. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Great. Turn on your camera and keep your camera on, right? Next thing, you gotta be able to look into the lens or at least look into the speaker properly. Right now, you're all sitting in a proper setup, which is very nice. Be in a distraction-free zone, which means you shouldn't be having people walking around, or especially when you're going for interviews and all that. And there shouldn't be much of noise coming from outside and all that. Be in a distraction-free zone. It's very, very important. Next thing is greet people. All right, once you join in, hey everyone, how's everyone doing? I hope you're doing well. Something like that. Greet people. It's very, very important. Next thing is make small talks. Again, build a rapport with the person, right? Do some basic etiquettes with them. Signal you're actively listening. Now over here, that person's able to see you, which means you can nod, right? You can use your body language cues, right? You can do all these things. Next thing, you gotta dress up well, and you gotta make sure you sit in this frame, guys. You should sit parallel to your lens. Your lens shouldn't be, too low. Your lens shouldn't be too high. It looks very weird. So try to keep your lens flat to you. That's how you sit in a proper video call setup. Everybody has got that right over here, which is nice. Next, show interest and ask questions. Whenever you're talking to somebody, the one best way to show interest to someone is by asking questions, right? So make sure you do that. And then use the correct tone. And then finally end the call. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Okay?
Okay.
The others. Okay. Okay. And finally, meeting someone etiquettes. Now, the only difference between calling somebody or having a video call versus meeting someone in person is you are directly there. So the body language plays a vital role, right? You got to focus a lot on your body language. First thing is obviously you got to be there on time, which means you got to show up 5 minutes early. Next thing, you got to focus on your body language, guys. Which means you got to smile, you got to make eye contact, use your hands well, you can nod. We will be having a detailed session on body language after 2 days, but now at least let me just walk you through what you need to remember, right? You got to greet a person, right? Handshake comes into picture when you meet someone in person, right? Make small talks, make them feel comfortable, check on the way you're sitting. Don't try to lean on the table, don't try to sit in this uncomfortable position, right? Try to make the person feel comfortable whenever you're meeting them. Your voice has to be fine, the tone has to be fine, the way you maintain eye contact has to be good, the way you're signaling the person has to be good. You can nod, you can look at them while they speak, right? The tone has to be good, and then finally, you can bid goodbye. Okay?
Okay.
How do you try to set up a good etiquette when you meet someone in person? Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So far, do we have any kind of doubts? Do we have any question in our mind? Anything about the topic? Please feel free and ask, guys. People?
No doubt for me.
No doubt for you. Okay.
No doubt
Pratap?
from myself.
Okay. Nitin? Okay, great. Pratap? Akash?
No doubt, sir.
Manish? Chaitanya? You're on mute, guys, by the way, if you're answering.
Yes, sir.
No doubts.
No doubt, sir.
Good. Pratibha? Mayank?
No doubt, sir.
Cool. Cool. Let's do an activity, guys. This is somewhere down the line. I want to see a camera presence of everyone and make sure everybody is part of this. So Akash, Mayank, and Pratibha turn on your camera. That's 3, 5, 8 people. Great. Let's have a group discussion here. All right. I'll give you guys a simple topic. I want you guys to be respectful to people. I want you guys to, keep a check on your body language, on the tone. Now, like I told you, it's a group discussion. It's not a debate. So please don't fight or anything if a person is not agreeing with your point. This is a regular, simple group discussion, not the 9 p.m. debate show that you see on whatever channel. So try to be respectful with everyone. Okay? So the topic I want to share with you guys, Mayank, Akash, come on, camera guys. Okay, I'll just wait a minute. But in the meantime, the topic for you guys would be work from home versus work from office. No, just cut it off. Online studies versus the conventional classroom training. Which one do you think is more effective and why? Okay. So if you say you think online training is more effective, you should be able to give at least 2 to 3 points per person on why it is effective. All right. I'm going to give you guys a maximum of 8 to 10 minutes for this group discussion, which means one person will roughly get about 1 minute to 1 minute 20 seconds. So don't waste too much time. Whenever you get an opportunity, open up and start giving your point. And you should at least be able to give me 2 to 3 points. Sounds good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's do this. Come on. Turn on the camera, everyone. And it's a group discussion, so anyone can start. And once a person stops, anybody else can continue. Let's go. Online? Yes, let's start.
I think offline study is more productive than online studies. Why? This create a live interaction with teachers and also the competitiveness among other students.
Yeah, sir, I agree with the Pratap Adhikari. The online, compared to the online, offline classes are more effective because in some areas are not getting a good internet connections, and some of them are not having any smartphones, and due to the family problems. And in the online offline classes, we are getting in more effectiveness of classes, and we can interact with the teachers, and we can take in notes from the class, and we are getting a more effectiveness of the classes. And if you have any doubt, we can straightly go and ask with the teachers itself. In the online classes, if you have any doubts, there is a network issue to ask a doubts with the teachers. These are all the problems.
Mitten, I think that online is the best class that people's nowadays every some educational schools also conducted the online classes, because in there when you see the examples of Bazoo, they also conduct good they also provide the online classes, and every student has ready to do these online classes very well. I think because nowadays internet is very its prices should be very less, and everyone has getting his own internet in his smartphone or in at home. So I think that it is the best way to that online education is best. and we can also ask the teachers. When we will not satisfied, then we provide a recording of these sessions and likely we get discuss about what we will issue.
Yeah, Manish, I'm disagreeing with some points because in every places we are not getting in good internet connections. Especially, I faced this problem in my degree life of the second year while I will be having an online classes during the COVID time, and I'm not getting in a good internet connection, and I'm not able to connect the classes, and not able to connect the good classes, and not able to connect to the teachers, and also due to the heavy rain there is an internet power cut. These are the reasons.
Yes, most cases will be done, but at the situations you get in when you are in rural areas, it should be better internet. But in some other conditions, like in when you are going in village areas or when we are staying in village, then there should be connectivity of internet. I think that you are right. But in some situations, you see that their online education is best. I think this one is the best one because every I don't tell that it is not good or not bad. Offline education is also good, but this one is nowadays, and the technology has become has going in a long way, and they and everyone has going to be on this live mode like online educations, and our teachers also consult them with video call and they give the proper guidance to the internet. Do you agree?
Can we complete the
Yeah,
class
Manish,
with
I agree with you.
limited data? Can we complete the whole? Suppose one class is at about 2 to 3 hours. Can we complete the class with limited data?
What? Sorry.
You told earlier that that data is very cheap in India. That
Yes.
can we complete the class with limited data or mobile data? We must have broadband or internet connection, na?
Yes.
Good internet connection.
Yes. We have good
Then
internet connection.
then
Mostly, I think that 10 Mbps should be good and it's will be cheap.
you think in India every village has 10 Mbps connection?
Yes.
But there is a lot, there is advantages and disadvantages also. Both will be considered at the same time. There will be in the remote areas, internet connection will be not there. We have to move for some area and we have to be stick for a while up to the class finish. Very far away candidates, it is very suitable for the online classes. As per compared to the offline classes, we can share our details to the lecturer. Whatever doubts we have, we can clarify our doubts within a specific time. And we will spend some more time to clarify our doubts. In the online class, it is not possible. There will be particular time from this time to that time only. The time hours we left the class, but we will not solve our doubts.
So
May I say?
how can you say that not clearing the doubts?
In online classes, there will be only particular time now. From here only, the 7 to 8 timing is there. After 8 o'clock, if you have any doubt, means a faculty will not be available. In the offline means faculty will be available. We can sit for a while and we will discuss.
I'm not
But
agree with I'm not agree with
on that,
Manda Chaitanya, because in online classes there are many methods, WhatsApp and Facebook and any other method to start solving method, right? So you cannot compare from offline classes, right? You can you can solve your doubt from way to way on a person directly from offline classes, but it will take some it was very time taking process, right? You are you, from your home to and a coaching center you are visiting, right? And but online classes is much better than offline classes. It is much cheaper than offline classes, right? You know,
Every
you know,
How this is cheaper?
GATE examination coaching. Do you know? Around 80,000 rupees offline courses. But if you are trying for online, then it is much cheaper. It is around 20,000 rupees. You can save your
Guys,
60,000 rupees.
guys, whoever has not spoken, time for you guys to open up. The others as well. I need everyone to give in your points.
So I will have to speak. I was waiting for my chance.
Sorry,
This
sir.
is seeing the
I was eating something, so that's why I'm not opening my camera. Okay.
seeing the so what I have to say. Seeing the opportunity, disopportunities, disagreement, seeing the agreements and disagreements on online classes. But my personal choices of offline classes, consecutive classes. Consecutive classes we can do live interactions. Punctualities will be created in offline classes. See in online classes, students are coming or not coming. If the presence is there or not, we cannot be if it's a class of 8, so we can talk to everyone. But if a class of 30, 40, we cannot interact with everyone. Then confidence building also happens in offline classes rather than in, and interactions also happens in offline. Akash, here is not an agreement or disagreement, sir. We have to speak our point. And interaction also happens on offline classes. Say, if we are new and joining online classes, we cannot know our classmates or batchmates. But in offline classes, first few days we will be shy to talk about, but after some days, live naturally talks happen with us, everyone. So my point is, consecutive classes are better than online classes.
Sir, it depends person to person, sir, I think. Because if you are able to join online classes, then if you are living in a city and if you have a better internet connection, then then you have a better choice to go for online classes, I think.
Good point, Akash. Anyways, Mayank, Pratibha, what's up with you guys? You guys still haven't opened up? Pratibha, Mayank? Okay, yes.
So I guess both online and offline classes has its own merits and demerits. If we talk about the online classes, some people faces internet issues, and if we talk about online offline classes, there's a better interaction. You get a lot of opportunity in offline classes. Doubt clarification is more better if we talk about online offline classes, and yeah.
Mayank?
I think, sir,
All,
Mank
yes.
is going to download this class. And the recording purpose he joined only. Yeah.
Okay, okay. All right, everyone, turn the camera.
Those who are working class, they do not spend much time to go travel to the classes and take offline classes. So it's better for them to take online classes.
Got it. Okay, cool. So here's something we wanted to understand. I don't know why it went off in a wrong track. When I say group discussion, the word itself says group discussion, right? Which is, I made it very clear, this isn't the 9 p.m. debate show, don't start fighting. And I could see in the beginning, everyone is like, I think it started off with Mithun and Manish, both like, trying to pester over the same point. I think whenever we're having a discussion, there's obviously clash of opinions, right? But always remember one thing about group discussion, guys, that everybody has an opinion and everybody has their own perspective. You gotta respect that, you gotta move on. That is something we gotta understand, no matter what, right? It is something to keep in your mind. So don't try to fight over this thing, all right? Which is still cool, but I think you guys are still healthy. You guys are still trying to make good points, which is what we're gonna take from this particular group discussion. That's one thing to always keep in mind. When it comes to a group discussion, don't fight. You just have to accept everyone's point and move on. All right. If you want to fight, they're going to give you a debate opportunity. You can do it that time. Okay. And coming back to the topic, it's obviously a very an open topic. I think my opinion would be I kind of feel like online classes are very convenient. You can always do it anywhere. You don't have to worry about the location and all that. You can just find a place, take a laptop, and you can get into this. And offline classes are very effective, I kind of feel. Humans by default need human touch, right? Which can only be given to you whenever you are with another human, face to face. So that's what I believe. Now, Manish, don't come up with some new theory, man. I don't want to be in an argument right now. This is my opinion. I might be wrong. I might be right. This is my opinion. Cool. So, great deal, everyone. I hope whatever you learned today has gone to your mind, right? A couple of
Yes.
important things I'm going to quickly walk you through. First thing, show up on time, which means early, right? That's the first way to create a great impression. Whenever you're having a telephone call, be respectful to the person. Don't, cancel a scheduled call. Once you pick up the phone call, use a good tone, have a good greeting, and be respectful. Whenever you're having a camera on, look into the lens, keep your lens in your similar angle. Try to keep sit in a proper frame, in a distraction-free zone, and try to work on the way you look and the way you're sitting whenever you're having your camera on. Face-to-face meeting, make sure your body language is right. You're making the person feel comfortable, reaching the place on time, and obviously maintaining eye contact and nodding your head and all that whenever you're listening to those people. This is generally what you learned in today's session, correct?
Yes. Okay.
Great. Now, Philip has put down a feedback form at the bottom of the screen, guys. I mean, on the chat box, open it and fill it up. It works as your attendance as well as a feedback form to the trainer. If you felt that the trainer was useless, trainer was like very boring, this guy doesn't, please fire him. You want to put any kind of reviews on your own, please feel free. If you like it, rate it. If you don't like it, do it anyways.
Sir, I have a
Okay?
doubt.
What is it, Akash?
How to tackle the situation when someone hijacked GD round?
When someone hijacks a GD round,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
hijacks.
Hijack means long sentences and many more knowledge appropriate on the topics.
You should be like, "Arey, kitna baat karega tu?" You should be like that,
Yes.
right? I think you can always use your body language cue, Akash. If the person's talking too much, you can always, don't interrupt them. Just raise your hands and give them a cue that, you also want to speak next. That's a very respectful way of, letting the person know you're next in line, right? And then obviously when you give the chance, you can always be like that. It took quite a long from you, and you can always continue. Okay?
Yes.
All right. I want to come back to Shubh over here. Shubh Agarwal, you came in a little late. Can you please turn on the camera?
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. What's up?
Yes, sir. Sir, my internet connection was not stable. That's why I was trying to join, but my internet connection became stable at around 7:20. That's why I.
Okay, fair enough. But try coming in, try checking from tomorrow a little early, all right?
Sure, sir.
Okay, thanks, man. All right, guys, any questions you can still ask. Otherwise, you guys take the feedback form and put the attendance and we can wrap it up. All right?
Sir, you did not check email writing?
I have checked. I asked it for a reason and I've looked at it. Don't worry. We're going to be having the email writing session, right? So I wanted to get a heads up of how you guys are writing emails right now and all that. This is what I wanted to do. So don't worry about it. Thank you, engineers, for sending it on time, everyone. Good job. All right. Okay, guys, let's wrap it up then. Take a break. I think